Question 23 says that we want to add or subtract as indicated. We have a first one, which is 8 times radical 14, and then plus radical 3 minus 7 times radical 14. By the distributive property, we have a radical 14 are the same. So we may pull radical 14 out, and then 8 minus 7. We then add radical 3. And we know 8 minus 7, which is 1, times radical 14 plus radical 3. 1 times any number is that number. So we do not have to write 1 in front of radical 14. So here the final answer is the first choice. Now, 24. 24, we want to simplify that. It is not simplified because this radical sign including a denominator. Normally, we do not want denominator as a radical on the denominator. So we do is radical 3 divided by radical 4. Radical 3, you have nothing to do with that. But radical 4, you know that's true, which is 2. So in this case, radical 3 over 2 will be the last one. Radical 3 over 2. Okay. Now, for 25, you do have a different approaches for that. You may do is radical 48 over radical 3. You know that's radical 48 divided by 3. And then inside 48 divided by 3, you know that's 16. Choose the square root, you know that's 4. So the answer is last one. X, the whole expression is just 4. Now, 26. 26, you do by distributive property. Radical 7 times radical 3 minus radical 5. So you do will be radical 7 times radical 3, and then subtract radical 7 times radical 5. And then you know, like the division, you do multiplication for 7 and 3, and here will be 5 and 7. You know that will be 21 minus radical. Here is radical 21 minus radical 35. So the last one is our choice. Okay, now keep going. Here you got to use for your method. That will be question 27, which is radical 7 plus 3 radical 7 minus 3. So for your First product, radical 7 times radical 7. Once you know, that will be 7. Last product is negative number 3 times positive number 3. So you have a negative 3 times 3, which is negative 9. Outer product, that's radical 7 times negative 3. So you have a negative 3 radical 7 as the outer product. And inner product is these two, which is positive 3 radical 7. You know that in this case, 1 is positive here, 1 is negative here. Again, you know the outer product and the inner product will be cancelled. So then in this case, you only have is 7 minus 9, which is negative 2. So which one is our answer? Last one, negative 2. Remember, in this way, you can always get rid of this radical 7. It's going to be integer, radical 7 times radical 7. If this is the case, how we are going to do question 28. Rationalize denominator, as we do not want denominator contain radical number. So but previously we did, we have a 7 over radical 2 plus 1. Then we know if both numerator and denominator multiplied by radical 2 minus 1, and the radical 2 minus 1, then denominator is going to be integer, like what we did right here. You see 7 minus 9. And 2 outer product, inner product, all the time will be cancelled. So that will be radical 7 times radical 7 is 7. Here then would be the same thing. Numerator, you do distributive property. That will be 7 times radical 2 minus 7 times 1. Downstairs, radical 2 times radical 2 squared. I'm not going to write inner and outer product. You know they will be cancelled. Minus 1 times 1 for the last product. Then we have a 7 radical 2 minus 7 for numerator. Downstairs, radical 2 squared is just 2. 1 times 1 is 1. Do subtraction. Everyone knows 2 minus 1 from elementary school, that's value 1. 1 on denominator, you do not have to write. So you only have a 7 radical 2 minus 7. So which one is that? That would be third one. 7 times radical 2 minus 7. So this one actually equals that. Okay, that would be our last one. I will then see you next time.